What's up, YouTubers? Scotty with Trek Bikes Victoria. Today, I'm very excited to do another bike check with you because this is my personal Slash Plus 9.9 Exo Axis T-Type Trek bicycle from 2025. So this is a full carbon enduro bike with a motor. Trek has done a beautiful job integrating the TQ motor into this system. TQ, German company, producing motors for Trek for several of their bikes. This motor is smaller than some of the other competitors out there, but that makes it lighter and very quiet. It puts out about 50 Newton meters of torque and 250 watts of power, continuous power, and also capable of 300 watts of spike power, or whatever you want to call it. The Trek integrates a beautiful TQ screen into this system that has lots of metrics. We've got, your speed, your distance, your watts, which is actually something I look at a lot. Of course, you've got your estimated battery life on there as well. And there's a great Trek Connect app that I have on my phone now where I can custom tune my motor in each of the 3 modes of assist. So I've actually bumped up level 1 a bit so that I can use it a bit more. I find that I ride in level 2 almost solely after I've only ridden this a few times. But so I bumped level 2 up a little bit. And I've been playing around with it a little bit, but I'll follow up with that later on as I find the perfect tune for my riding style. So the other piece of the puzzle is the integrated battery within the frame here. They've somehow managed to pack a 580 watt hour battery into this slender down tube, which is great. It's a very powerful battery for this bike. I did a ride recently where I climbed over 1,100 meters and rode about 27 kilometers. We're talking very technical terrain, very steep hills, riding it mostly in level 2 very fast. We did the ride in under 2 hours and I still had 22% battery life left, so I probably could have gone and done another lap at that riding area. So I'm happy with the battery life. It was one of my concerns going into this bike. However, if you are a heavier rider, or if you're finding you're just doing lap after lap, you can add their additional battery into the water bottle cage here that plugs into our charging port here. Charging port's right there. Comes with a 4 amp charger, charges in about 4 hours, which is nice and quick, which is good. Trek's using full carbon OCLV mountain carbon, nice tough carbon on this bike. It's got a top end suspension package from RockShox, the Vivid Ultimate rear shock, which has tons of adjustments in terms of rebound, compression, low speed compression. It's got your kind of firm and soft settings for climbing, which you almost don't need as much because of the motor and the power of this bike. The front fork, the Zeb Ultimate, is just smooth out of the box. I love this fork. Again, it's 170 mil of travel. I've got the fender integrated into it. Really love this fork and the rear shock. It's definitely, in my opinion, some of the best suspension you can get these days. The wheel set on this bike is Bontrager's Line Pro 30. So we've got carbon rims, nice tubeless setup, good quality hubs. This wheel is bomber. I have had this wheel on my previous Slash for over 3 years racing enduro. I put it through the ringer, never had any issues. I have changed the tires on this bike. It comes with the Bontrager SE 6 and 5 tires, which I don't mind in the summer, but we have some pretty wet, gnarly terrain right now, and I wanted the most traction I could get. So I've got the Super Soft Maxxis tires on here, Assegai, and the Minion DHR on the back. These tires are a little heavier casing than the stock tires on the bike, so it does bring the weight up a little bit. Speaking of the weight, the claimed weight from Trek on these bikes in a medium is about 46 pounds, just over 46. This bike, as it sits with XTR trail pedals and the tire upgrade, is sitting at just over 48 pounds. So very reasonable for the amount of travel and stuff that we have going on. Speaking of stuff going on, as you can see, this is a high pivot bike. So why are bikes coming with high pivot? You might ask, a high pivot bike is designed to track through rough terrain better. Basically, it keeps the wheels on the ground. It reduces the amount of chatter that you're going to feel, and it feels smoother. And there is no question that it works. You can absolutely charge with this bike. I've never felt more stable at high speed through gnarly rock gardens than I have on this bike. Partially because of the extra weight. This is 48 pounds. My normal enduro bike's closer to 40, but also because of that high pivot system. Next up, we've got the drivetrain. So, I mean, this is my first time in a while riding SRAM. I'll admit I am a Shimano fan, but I'm definitely liking this SRAM stuff. Would I splurge on this SRAM stuff? I don't know. I think, like, you know, good old mechanical Shimano is pretty solid, but there's no question this stuff, the SRAM T-Type just shifts like bang, 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 and it has held up great. I mean, we've only had a few rides, but shifts perfectly out of the box. One thing I like about this derailleur is it's wired into the system here, so I don't have an extra battery to charge, whereas, you know, your standard T-Type transmission stuff is going to require a battery to charge. So it's one less thing to think about, which I like about that. But yeah, drivetrain's really quite nice. 1052 cassette, so huge range. Honestly, I barely use the 52 because of the motor on this bike. I find that I'm in the middle of the cassette way more than I am when I'm on an analog bike. Another unique thing about this bike is it's a mullet. So the rear wheel is a 27.5 inch diameter and the front is a 29. This just makes this bike so playful. Really impressed with the mullet. I was apprehensive going into it. I'm a 29er fan, love the speed of the 29er. I think that if you didn't have the motor, it would probably be more of a hindrance because of that small wheel. The bike is raked out a bit more, and so it's probably going to hurt you a little bit on the climbs without the motor. But because you have the motor, it doesn't matter. You get up the hill super fast, and the benefit of it is just how snappy it feels in the corners. I feel like I'm much better at cornering. I've never been a great high-speed corner guy or sharp corner guy, and this has really improved my cornering. So love the mullet so far. The brakes on here are Mavens, the Maven Silver. They are very powerful. Everybody's talking about Mavens these days. And I think with a bike like this, you need powerful brakes, whether it's Mavens or some of the TRP DH brakes, or I have a nice set of Hope E4s on my other bike. I love the power of these brakes. I do feel the stiffness in the levers on long descents where I'm really holding on to these brakes, and this is almost a 50-pound bike. So on those steep, long descents, you're holding on to the brakes. You got a lot of bike to slow down. So love the power. The stiffness of the lever feel is something to think about, but I think my hands will get stronger eventually and I'll get used to it. What else can we talk about? I mean, the dropper post is electronic. It's really fast. What I really like about it is it does have kind of modes in between, and you can kind of pick a lower setting and not just all the way up or all the way down. It's really nice. It does have an external battery, so it's one more thing to charge, but not bad at all. I think that covers most of this bicycle. If you have any questions, if you want to see maybe some ride footage later on, stay tuned to the YouTube video or channel and let us know what you think. Thanks for watching.